When I think about my journey with personal computers, it's been a little weirder than most. For about the first half of my career, I used a Mac at work and a PC at home. And then for a while, I just worked from home and it was all PC. Well, I recently decided to go back to Macintosh for a lot of reasons. But there's one thing that I really do miss. And I'm going to tell you all about it. Welcome, I am Stuart. I am your middle-aged hack, just a child of the 80s trying to make his way through the 20s, and I hope you'll take the journey with me. Like I said, I recently went back to a Mac, and in general, I couldn't be happier. I chose a Mac because, honestly, I wanted something that would be a good value for the money. We all know that just paying the least amount of money isn't always the best way to get value. I have found that Macs will last 5 to 6 years at the minimum, and if you're willing to put up with some slowness, even 7 or 8 years before they lose the ability to get security updates. This as opposed to, the gaming PCs that I have been using have in general started to feel really dodgy after about a year and a half. They start having hardware failures, that sort of thing. So for my money, I decided to go with a Mac. And moving over really wasn't that hard because most of what I do is either cloud-based or it's got the same apps on Mac and PC. And I really didn't mind the whole issue of the keyboard shortcuts because I knew all about that. But there's one thing that drives me absolutely nuts. I just can't understand why Apple is doing it this way. Most of the time that I was on PC, I was using Google Chrome. And Chrome had a lot of pluses to it, a good, robust extension manager, and the ability to manage bookmarks across multiple devices, and there's a whole bunch there. But I decided to migrate, over to the Mac, and so I said, okay, I'm going to go to Safari instead. I had all of my bookmarks in Safari when I started, but there were a couple of times I needed to go back to the PC, add a bookmark on something, and it never migrated back over to Safari, which didn't make sense. And then I figured out why. There's two pieces of software, or I should say one piece of software and one extension that really handle syncing Chrome bookmarks with Safari, whether it's on iOS or macOS or whatever. The first is iCloud for Windows, which let me tell you is a really dodgy piece of software that has given me nothing but heartache over the many, many years that I have been using it. And although it's gotten better, it's never gotten to the point where I liked it. It puts in this extension called iCloud Bookmarks, and that sends all your bookmarks up to the cloud where iOS sees it and it pulls it back down and syncs it, and that's great. And worked like a charm for years and years while I was on an iPhone and using Chrome on a PC. As soon as I stopped using the PC, it stopped working because there were still a couple of things I needed to go back to Chrome for, and so the bookmark situation made no sense. And this is the part that I figured out. It really, please, if anyone can explain this to me in the comments, I sure would like it. The iCloud Bookmarks extension only works on PC. So in other words, if you want to sync your bookmarks from Chrome on a Mac to Safari on a Mac, then what you need to do is open Chrome on a PC that has this extension and give it a couple of minutes to sync up, and then your bookmarks will be synced between Chrome and Safari. How does that make any sense whatsoever? I mean, you would think that of all the things that would not be a problem, that it would be like browser stuff. Because, browsers are pretty stable at this point. You don't see a whole lot of change in the browser world. So you would think that this would be kind of taken care of automatically, especially since if you have a PC, it does work. So I just don't understand why it is that we're seeing this kind of problem with Mac OS on Chrome and Safari. I'm very happy now with Safari, but it really took me a while to get there. And I'm trying to make sure that I don't do a lot of changes to bookmarks and things like that, because like I said, if I do need to go to Chrome for something because if it's a rendering issue or whatever, then I try to make sure that I'm manually syncing bookmarks. But how stupid is that? I'm kind of hoping, this is just kind of casting a wide net, that somebody is going to know somebody who is going to be able to explain this to me. Because something this dumb has to have a smart explanation, right? That's the way I see it. Anyway, that's it for this particular rant. Please leave me a like, a subscribe, a comment, especially if you have some idea what's going on here, because it really does help out the channel. I'm trying to grow it, and I can only do that with your help. That's it for me for today. I'll see you again next time.